Did you know that this guitar was built and released while Gibson only had 10% of its workforce allocated at the time? Now 10% meaning 10% of its highly most skilled craftspeople to be exact. There's a reason why this guitar is considered the workhorse. It's been on countless recordings, used by some of the biggest names in the music industry, as well as a ton of great players out there. This got me thinking though, what's the real magic of the J-45? Why is it the go-to? It's been on my radar and it's time for an acoustic guitar. Here at Gibson, we offer quite a few different models based on price points and build highlights, so I figured it'd be great to compare the different models and options from each one of our collections. This model was also the inception of our famous banner logo. Later on in the video, I'll show you what that's all about and why it's so important. And as an added bonus for all you tone experts out there, we have a very special challenge towards the end of the video. But real quick, if you're curious to hear what this guitar sounds like compared to other Gibson models, be sure to check out the video that we shot where we compared the different models, body shapes, and styles. That link in the description below. So I'll go ahead and cycle through the guitars now. We'll start with the Epiphone J-45 Studio. This is a great guitar for under 500 bucks. Yeah, that's totally great. I mean, again, under 500 bucks, a great beginner guitar, great for someone that's playing intermediate. Maybe it's your first acoustic. You still get your solid Sitka spruce top. You get your mahogany back and sides. No electronics on this one, but that's totally fine because, you know, you can easily buy a sound hole pickup for cheap, or you can have a tech install a pickup system if you want for later. Okay, cool. So next up, we've got the J-45 Aged Vintage Sunburst. This is a great instrument coming in under the $1,000 mark. Let's check it out. A fine instrument for under $1,000. I would say this is great for a beginner, even intermediate, or if you're looking for a first-time acoustic to play on stage or do recording with, as you now get to have some electronics on this model. So you've got the Fishman Sonic Core under saddle pickup. What you were hearing there was the pickup and the microphones mixed together for the mix. You'll also get the Kalamazoo headstock. And now we also have solid mahogany back and side. So there's a little bit more resonance, a little bit more beef behind the sound, as you can hear from the previous model that we tested. So this next guitar is basically what we saw before, but now it's a cutaway version. EC. J-45 EC, still under $1,000 bucks, great for soloing and rhythm playing as well. Let's check it out. Again, fantastic tones. We've got a slightly more advanced preamp system here. So you are hearing now the electronics from the Fishman Precis 2 system. Basically, you're gonna have treble and bass added to the mix. You've got a phase switch and an onboard tuner, which is super useful. Like the previous model, those controls were tucked under the sound hole, but on this one, it's conveniently on top here for easier access. Fantastic. Again, great for a beginner or intermediate player or your first acoustic for playing live in the studio, and you know, for someone that wants to play lead as well as rhythm. That wraps up all the Epiphones. Let's go ahead and take a look at the USA collection. So now that we're looking at the USA models, I wanted to point out a few different things that I found out recently in speaking to the people up at the Bozeman, Montana factory. You're going to now have the dome top. Now the dome top is basically what creates the tension. It's the projection. Think of a speaker. It's also going to provide that signature mid-range, or like the woody tones that are associated with the classic Gibson acoustic sound. All these are handmade in the US. This is also where we start using the hot hide glue on the neck joints for increased sustain and tonal resonance. So basically you're getting the string vibrations to go up and down the instrument evenly and a lot truer and stronger. Let's start off now with the Generation Collection. This is a great guitar under 1,500 bucks, and the main feature here is going to be that player port, where it's like your little personal monitor. You can hear a little bit more of you. Let's take a listen. Super nice, easy to play, lightweight, just real easy to navigate on. Now this model is going to feature walnut back and sides, so I think that's going to be a little bit brighter as opposed to the darker mahogany. You've got your satin nitro finish now. So now with the nitro lacquer, as you know, you get a little bit more transparency, a little bit more resonance. It's not a lot of paint covering the wood gets to breathe, and it somewhat ages gracefully and naturally as you play it more. The player port, of course, being a huge factor here. I'm telling you right now, if I strum and I cover my hand over the port, at least a good 25% of the guitar kind of disappears. And then of course, no electronics on this, but that's totally fine. You can get an easy to install sound hole pickup, or you can have a qualified technician install a pickup system of your choice. Does include a gig bag, so it's real easy to travel with. Next up is the Faded series. This is the J-45 50s. We still have nitro here. We've got a satin nitro finish, again talking about that resonance. This is a great guitar for under $3 grand. I mean, you got a bone nut and bridge. Let's check it out. That's great. You know, the satin nitro, it's smooth, it's easy to get up and down the neck. On this one, you're gonna also notice you're hearing electronics. We've got the LR Bags VTC undersaddle pickup system with the controls here in the sound hole. And this is also gonna come with the hard shell case. Again, a great guitar for under that $3 grand mark. Really gets you into the J-45's vibe, and that satin nitro is just really easy to the touch there. Okay, great. Now let's move on to basically the gold standard, I'd like to call it, the J-45 Vintage Sunburst. So like I said before, I consider this, and many consider this, the gold standard. This is the poster child of a J-45. We've got a great killer guitar. This is the workhorse. We're gonna come in around that $3,000 mark. Let's take a listen. As you can hear, that's what it's known for. It's not too loud, it sits in the mix right, that mid-range is right where you want an acoustic guitar to be. It's just the perfect accompaniment instrument to vocals, or if you're a solo musician. And again, it's just really easy to get that go-to acoustic sound. So on this model, you're gonna see mahogany back and sides, of course, Sitka spruce top. We do have a gloss nitro as well, so you get the qualities of a nitrocellulose lacquer, and now with the gloss treatment, of course, and an LR Bags VTC pickup, undersaddle pickup system. That's what you're hearing right now. So you're hearing a mix of the microphone and the pickup at the same time. Hard shell case included. You can't go wrong. It's the go-to again. Okay, now let's move on, last but not least, our custom shop offering. Okay, super excited here. We're on to the 1942 Banner J-45. Remember we talked about the banner in the beginning of the video. What that is the Banner logo. When we came out with this guitar, we also came out with the gold Gibson logo, and we also came out with this banner here that says, "Only a Gibson is good enough." That's been our, slogan, our mantra that has moved forward with us ever since, and the rest is history. There's a thinner lacquer on these, still nitro. This is a great, fantastic high-end piece. This is gonna run you around the $5,000 mark, but again, I think it's gonna be worth every penny. Let's check it out. Super fantastic. Well balanced. The bass, the highs, everything is tucked in real nice. Again, that thinner nitro lacquer, more resonance, less restriction on the wood. Age Adirondack red spruce top here for warmer tones. And more of that, again, the term I'm going to use is woodier here. That's that signature mid-range that Gibson acoustics are known for. Yeah, just super smooth and silky. You've got the hot hide glue top bracing as well on these models for more increased projection. No electronics because it's staying true to the original. Bone nut and saddle for extra tone and sustain and warmth. High-end appointments here. You know, you're gonna get your mother of pearl inlays. You're gonna get that gold Gibson logo. The custom shop stuff, as you know, it's gonna be period accurate, as close to detail as possible. The plastics, you know, the binding, the aged look on the finish slightly, you know, the tuners, the plastic on the tuners, everything down to the finest detail. Even the case is going to be period correct. Super nice. What a great guitar. Now, we barely scratched the surface on all the features on these models. Of course, you can always visit our website for the full specs, pricing, and availability. Now that we've touched on these models, let's hear them back to back. I'm going to try and play the same thing as consistently as possible so you can really hear the difference for yourselves. Now, be sure to comment on which one you think is best, because I'm really curious to know which one stood out to you more than the other. Bonus section time. I'm actually going to play 3 of these guitars, and I want you all out there to guess which one is the Epiphone, which one is the USA Vintage Sunburst, and which one is the Custom Shop. Make sure to leave your comments below on your decision, and I'll announce the results at the end of the video. By the way, you will not be seeing this. Guitar number 1. Guitar number 2. Guitar number 3. As I mentioned before, you can go to our website to find out more about the specs on each one of these models and the pricing and availability. Those links are also in the description below. Now, in regards to the blind test that we did, if you chose the J-45 USA Vintage Sunburst as guitar number 1, you are correct. Guitar number 2, if you chose the Epiphone J-45 Studio, you are correct. And last, number 3, if you chose the Custom Shop 1942 J-45 banner, you are correct. You are hearing with your ears and not with your eyes. Congratulations. If you liked that video, make sure to hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed to our channel. They'll keep you up to date on future videos that are coming down the pipeline. Thanks for watching.